everybody. My name is Jomar, and I'm going live. Boom. Something happened.
What happened?
To my phone. And I need to... Wait, is that me? Are you there?
I'm here. I've got you on Instagram on one ear and on StreamYard on the other.
All right, let me view this. I'm getting background
There we go.
noises on my phone. Oh, there we go.
Hi, folks. Welcome to the well.
Welcome to the well.
I hope y'all are ready to get your mind blown. I'm excited about this one.
Welcome to the well. This is on Wednesdays, every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific. My name is Jomar. I am an executive and transformative coach. I help folks of all forms of life, business leaders, entrepreneurs. Hi, Joy. Entrepreneurs, founders, athletes get clear on what it is that they want and kind of just go get it. You know, we get after it.
Right on. Hi guys, my name's Emily. I mostly these days I'm doing a lot of business coaching and consulting with CEOs, small teams. And essentially what I do is bring transformational leadership training to the workplace in honor of optimizing teams' performance, the bottom line, and essentially making work work.
Oh.
Welcome to the well.
So for today, we are covering the topic of the inner observer. What is the inner observer, Em? Hit us with some gems.
Thanks for asking. All right. I am really excited about this topic. I hope you're prepared to get your mind blown right now. So keep an open mind as I'm sharing.
Oh, wait, so which one is it? Open mind or mind blown? Or is it both?
You're going to open your mind and then it's going to be blown.
Okay.
All right.
Ready.
Cool. So what I think is super fascinating and amazing is that there's no proof that consciousness stems from the brain. There's no proof that consciousness is something that lives inside of our body, which I think is just fascinating. So, hi, Sarah. So if I tell you touch your hand, you can touch your hand. If I can tell you touch your head, touch your head. If Simon says touch your toes, you touch your toes. If I told you to touch your consciousness, right? So here's what I believe to be true in my own experience and what I've been able to witness in humanity on my 38 years on this planet, is that who we are, right? Who we truly are. Someone lives in LA. Who we are is not our experiences, is not actually Emily, is not actually Jomar, right? Who we are is the fact that who we are is the part of us that can observe that I'm Emily, that you're Jomar. Who we are is the consciousness that observes our experiences. So we are not actually our experiences, right? Who we are is the consciousness that can observe that we are having an experience.
Is that what you mean by consciousness is the observer?
Exactly. I believe that who the observer is for us is essentially our consciousness, right? So the fact that we can witness and experience, we are that we can observe that. That's who we are at our essence. That's who we are as spiritual beings having a human experience. Right?
Yeah, what I always tell when this is part of my conversation and my coaching is there's a part of us that thinks. You know, as human beings, we are sort of thought factories. We have thoughts that are independent agents. These thoughts just, we have no control of them. They come up, and there's a mechanism in us as human beings that just generates that. And then there's a mechanism in us that's also aware that that's happening.
Right.
That can just observe that that's, whoa. And so as a species, I'm not aware, pun not intended, of any other species that can have that capacity to pause and be aware.
That's right. Yeah, as far as I know, we're the only species that has this level of conscious awareness, right? So, okay.
So why is that important?
I'm so glad.
Why is that? Why does that matter?
Oh, we have a delay. So just so everyone knows, like, we have Instagram in one ear and Facebook in the other, and if they're not synced up, then it can cause some issues. But I think we're doing pretty good. Again, if you reflect back on like our first, we've really we've come a long way. Just notice the lovely graphics if you're watching on Facebook, aka StreamYard. Anyways,
come back.
Why that's important is because if you want to create sustainable change in your life, if you want to create some, impact, if you want to create shifts, if you want to create different results, you have to first become aware of how you are currently responding to your life, how you're currently experiencing your circumstances, right? So the first step is awareness. The next step is being able to accept what you've become aware of. And the final step, easier said than done, is the transcendence of whatever that awareness is, so that you can start making new choices, so that you can start having a different impact, so that you can start creating sustainable change. You can start creating results that you haven't before. You can only do that when you are aware first of how you're currently operating, right? So like I really believe that it is this level of cultivating awareness, which comes from the observer. It comes from being able to then accept what the observer is experiencing. And from that place, we can start to make shifts only when we understand how we're currently responding to our life and to our circumstances. It's only when we understand and accept that we can actually start making different choices that then create a different result. And there's some different layers in there. We have to dissect a little bit about what is it that you believe, right? What's the paradigm from which you're operating from, right? We don't show up to our lives and operate from our knowledge or from our understanding or from our education. We show up to our life from the paradigm from which we are living. And a paradigm is how we experience the world, how we see the world. Wayne Dyer said, if you want to change the way you look at things, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When we create shifts in ourselves, the world around us shifts. When we change who we are and how we show up to relationships, those relationships change. We are ultimately 100% responsible. And when you are able to interact with your life from a place of the observer, when you can be a third party in your own life, when you can be looking down and being aware of the experiences that you're having, what you're creating, how you created them, not from a place of blame, shame, or being made wrong, but from a place of the observer, that is the gateway to being able to create shifts, change, transcendence, whatever it is that you want, whatever you're working on, whatever you desire, whatever you want to create.
I love that. The why, I love the why in there. I think what comes up next for me is like the how. The how, like how do we cultivate this sense of inner observer in us? And from my experience, there's two dynamics at play. One is it's actually a skill. You spend time in practice, spending time in this place that we're pointing to, this inner observer place, this place of awareness. And so from a skill perspective, it's showing up to your practice every day. the spiritual teachers would call this prayer, contemplative prayer, or meditation. But there's all sorts of art forms which this is included outside of religion. So, even the practice of taking walks, yoga, all of these mindfulness things that have become really mainstream right now. These are embodiment practices we can participate in on a daily basis to cultivate that sense of quiet, that sense of awareness, that sense of connecting to our inner observer, so that when we do rub up against, that part of ourselves that tends to spiral and sort of get too much connected, we can now develop this coming back home within that, when it comes up. So there's that one part of it. This is skill building practice. And then the other part of it, to me, is a deepening. Once you've built the skill and you put in the practice and you're spending 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, 40 minutes a day in it, now it gets into the zone of, like I find myself at a loss for words trying to describe that zone, because it really is that. Now you're in the terrain. So Teresa of Avila talks about it as the 7 dwellings of the interior castle. So if you read that book, The Interior Castle, she talks about these 7 dwellings within us, and you can in her writing, you can tell her really struggle to put down into words what this embodied experience is like. So, yeah, that's why I want to say that. Yeah.
Deep stuff. I would like to add that, one of the ways in which you can begin to cultivate the observer is actually through reflection. Oh, I got a slipping phone here. Sorry. Through reflection. So actually being in the practice of doing some reflecting on your life, and where you can connect the dots that you can see how you've impacted your own life, how you've related to your circumstances. I believe that we have in our life, we have a relationship with ourselves, a relationship with others, and a relationship with our circumstances. And so if we want to shift those things, we have to become the observer in those 3 domains of relationship. And one of the ways to start doing that, like what you were talking about, how do we start, essentially, is through reflection and through hindsight. Let yourself start there. And as you create the invitation for yourself to become more aware of how you are in relationship with self, how you are in relationship with others, and how you're in relationship with your circumstances, you're literally inviting that level of awareness to become more available to you. And in it becoming more available to you, you'll begin to be more in the moment, more present, and more in practice with being able to be the observer at any given present moment. But start with some hindsight, start with some reflection, and allow that to be the invitation for this practice of being able to be aware and observing of your circumstances, your situations, your relationships. Allow that to become more available to you through that invitation and through a practice of reflection and hindsight.
Yep. And the results, and this is what's funny, is because the results become the focus. So I want to call it out that the results should be a byproduct of this. But the results, for me and for the folks that I work with, it seems to be just a sense of ease in their creativity, a sense of lightness in terms of pursuing their goals. No one's perfect, so we all get caught up. We all have our bad moments, but there's sort of a rebound that's quicker. You don't kind of get caught up in those big waves as long. You can kind of gracefully rebound from them. You can actually find them, welcome them in a sense when they happen, because it's an opportunity then to come back and see what's on the other side. And you kind of get a little bit more bold. You kind of get to play around with what results you want to create. Do I want to make more money? Do I want more money? Is that like, do I want to switch careers? Do I want to, ask for a promotion? Do I want to raise this much funds? Do I want to, allow my marriage to evolve a certain way? Like you get to kind of show up differently to those things that occur to you when you spend more time in this space.
Beautiful.
Amazing. So homework is, if you want homework, is settle in, take what resonates with you in this talk. If you listen to it, if something doesn't resonate with you, leave the rest, but just really kind of come to that place within you where that consciousness, that self-awareness, that inner observer resides, and see if you can cultivate it a little bit more this week, and let us know.
Yeah, let us know. My invitation is, last week you said we were having a conversation about intellectualizing something that really isn't intellectualizable, which was intuition. And I think that this is similar in the sense that, my invitation for homework is to allow yourself to be in the experience of observing yourself and what's happening. So whether that be that you're in a physical sensation or whether that be that you are in an emotional situation, can you notice that you notice it?
Boom. Thank you, Em. Hi, Gustavo. I see you on IG. Long time no see, sir. Thanks for joining now and later. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week.
Ciao, ciao.
Peace and love.